immerse yourself into the world of Creepy Man. He's waiting for you.
Some doors are sealed for a reason. Daniel Mercer was just supposed to check the wiring, a routine inspection in the middle of nowhere. But there was a problem. The second floor skipped from room 5 to room 7. "What the hell was that?" he said. His flashlight flickers once, twice. Room 6 didn't exist. Not on paper, not on maps, but it was still there. And then he opened it, and something came through. Daniel Mercer was a 36-year-old property inspector from Oregon, quiet and rational. He'd seen enough weird buildings in his career to know when something was off. But the Juniper Trail Lodge in the woods of Wyoming? That place reeked of secrets before he even stepped inside. The hotel was supposed to be a buyout for a New York investment firm. Cheap, isolated, perfect for a rustic remodel. Daniel was sent to check it out. It was a 2-story timber-framed structure, long since closed to the public. Windows shuttered, pine needles clogging the gutters. But what drew his eye instantly was that the hallway on the second floor skipped from room 5 to room 7. There was no room 6, at least not visibly. The old floor plan had been tampered with. A chunk of blueprint was ripped out, as if someone wanted to erase something. He stayed in room 7 that night. At 3:06 a.m., a cold wind blew under the locked door. The radiator groaned. Then came the whistle. A familiar tune he couldn't quite place. It came from the wall behind his headboard. A childlike tune. Soft, curious, playful. Disturbed by whistling. He knocked on the wall and told them to keep it down. But the reply wasn't a voice. It was 3 knocks back. Then suddenly, a hand slammed the wall from the other side. He backed away. The room light flickered violently, then went out. His hands trembled as he clicked on the flashlight, its weak beam flickering like it was scared too. The whistling had stopped, but something felt wrong, like the air itself had pulled back into the shadows. He crept toward the main door, planning to check the room next door. But then, he froze. Next to the door hung an old, dust-covered mirror, and in it, a pale figure stood behind him. No eyes, just black sockets, crying ash. Its mouth started opening, a loud screaming. He spun around. Nothing. The room was empty, just his breath fogging in the suddenly freezing room. When he brought it up to the caretaker, a sunken old man named Roy went pale. Room 6 ain't been opened in 21 years, not since it took that boy. What boy? Daniel asked. Roy muttered, the one who whistled back. 2004. Matthew Klein, just 13 years old. It was supposed to be a simple family stopover. A storm had rolled in heavy that night, so they pulled into the nearest place they could find, Juniper Trail Lodge. They were given room 6. That was the last night anyone saw Matthew alive. Around 3 a.m., during the thunder, he told his parents he heard something odd, whistling, faint, playful. He thought it was someone in the hallway pulling a prank, so he whistled back. That was his mistake. Because by morning, Matthew was gone, vanished without a trace. And worse, room 6 didn't exist anymore. The door was gone. A blank wall stood in its place. The only clue left behind? A dark pool of blood seeping through the cracks in the floorboards. Police were called. Investigations launched. They tore up the room, ripped out walls, floors, but found nothing. No body. The case went cold. The boy became another name on a long list of unsolved disappearances. But the real horror? It didn't stop. Even after the hotel staff removed room 6 from the maps, even after they sealed off the wall, the whistling continued. Guests in room 5 and 7 began to vanish too. Every single one of them had something in common. They heard the whistle. They whistled back. And then they were gone. Eventually, the lodge was shut down. Daniel laughed it off, tried sleeping in the office that night. At 3:06 a.m., the fire alarm exploded with shrieking sound. Lights pulsed red. He ran to the breaker room. Inside, every breaker was melted shut, and something was hanging from the ceiling. Not a person, a thing. It dangled by its ankles, spinning slowly, skin gray and dripping, hair hanging like seaweed. Its back was bent in a way no body should ever bend, snapped completely backward, like it had been folded in half from the spine. Its mouth was moving, whistling, the exact same tune Daniel had heard through the walls. Then its head snapped toward him, even though it was upside down. The eyes, milky, bloodshot, locked onto his, and slowly, it smiled. He screamed. Daniel stumbled back, his light flickering. Then it charged, not walking, gliding, screaming. Its limbs flailing, mouth open in an impossible scream he couldn't hear, only feel. The lights exploded. Darkness swallowed everything. When he opened his eyes again, he was lying on the front lawn, barefoot, shivering, covered in dirt. The sun was rising. The building behind him, silent, as if nothing had ever happened. He had to know. Daniel tore open the sealed drywall between room 5 and 7. Behind it, an old door covered in scorch marks. He opened it. A burst of putrid air hit him, the smell of old fire and rot. The room looked melted. A scorched rotary phone, a twisted bunk bed, a charred shoe. But worse, a ghostly figure faced the corner. Pale, broken skin, long hair, humming. It turned. Its jaw unhinged and stretched past its collarbone. From its mouth poured black smoke, and the whistle, now shrill, pierced the room. He turned to run. The door was gone, just a blank wall. Then, behind him, the ghostly figure rose, inches from his neck. Daniel turned and screamed. A scream so deep it scraped his throat raw until it choked into silence. His body collapsed, but his eyes, still open, still screaming. Weeks later, the Juniper Trail Lodge reopened, cleaned, modernized, fresh paint, digital locks. A new receptionist smiles at a couple. "You're in room 6. Welcome. You'll be our first guest in years." As they head down the hall, their keycard glitches. Door won't open. They hear a soft whistle behind them. They turn. If you ever hear whistling when no one is around, don't whistle back. Because stories like his, they don't stay buried. They crawl into your ears, your dreams, and sometimes they follow you home. If this tale chilled your bones, like the video, share it with someone brave enough to watch with the lights off, and subscribe. For more horror stories you'll wish you never heard. New nightmares drop every week. Until then, don't turn around.